Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Great Plains Association for College Admissions Counseling Virtual College Fair. We thank you all for joining us tonight. A few housekeeping announcements before we get started. You can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our presenters at any time. Your cameras and microphone are turned off, so the panelists cannot see or hear you. This is just one of many different sessions happening this evening, so please be sure to sign up for additional ones afterwards. This presentation is being recorded and will be available within about a week at strivescan.com/GPACAC. I'd now like to turn it over to our first presenter of the evening, Oklahoma State University.
All right, good evening, everybody. My name is Haley McCarthy, and I am an admissions counselor with Oklahoma State University. I'm super excited to have you guys here with us this evening. So while I am one of many admissions counselors, I may not be yours, but we do have an admissions counselor assigned to every single student, and you can find that person on our website. Just a couple of fun facts about Oklahoma State University, located in Stillwater, Oklahoma, right in between two major cities. Pretty large student population. We have right around 24,000 students total, 20-to-1 student ratio, so super manageable class sizes. We do have over 200 major options at Oklahoma State, so lots of customizable things. So hopefully you could find something that would interest you. We do have over 500 clubs and organizations, so there literally is something for anyone and everyone here at OSU. We have a very diverse population with us, students from all over the world. So we're very, very proud of that and trying to keep that population growing. So how do you apply at OSU? Unfortunately, we're not a part of the Common App if you are familiar with that. So the only way to apply is on our website. I do have my colleague Dylan with me. So if you need any of this information linked in the chat, please to do so. We're happy to send that to you. So you have to apply on our OSU website. We do need an official high school transcript. The easiest way to get that to us is to have your high school counselor send it to us. It's official, it's quick, it's easy. We do need a $40 application fee or fee waiver. So if you qualify for the NACAC waiver, ACT waiver, anything like that, send it over to us. We'll waive that $40 for you. If you're unsure, ask your admissions counselor, or your high school counselor is also a great resource to ask about the fee waiver. We have two other components that are super important for a couple of reasons. The essay and the resume both make your application eligible for scholarship review. So the essays, we give you 4 prompts. You just pick the 2 that you're most comfortable with. They're about 300 words of creative writing. So it's just to help us get to know you a little bit better. And then the leadership and involvement resume, we provide the format. You just put all of your information on there. So this is the time to brag about yourself. Anything and everything that you're involved with, please share it. So we admit a couple ways here at OSU. I believe it's on your left-hand side. On mine, the assured admission criteria. So basically what that is, if you meet one of those 3 bullet points, you're automatically admitted into the university. So you're not going to have to wonder if you'll be admitted. Now, if you don't meet any of those, that is okay. Don't let that deter you from applying. This past year, we did implement test optional admission. We will be moving forward with that for fall 2022 fall 2022 as well as our comprehensive review. So if you are not submitting a test score or something like that, make sure to do those essays in the resume as they help with admission. So it gives us something to review other than just numbers. It helps us get to know you as a student. So we do have lots of dates coming up. I know every school is different, so it's hard to keep track of them. But the big one to note is July 1st is when our application opens. So if you are a junior going to be a senior, you can apply and potentially be admitted before you even start your senior year. So that's super important. The main thing you want to pay attention to is apply early. Get that essay and the resume done so you can be eligible for scholarship review, and you don't really have to. I just lost my train of thought. Sorry. So anyway, so you're eligible for scholarship review at that time. You get everything done. You don't have to stress senior year. So we have 3 different types of scholarships here at OSU. These are more detailed on our website. The university assured is going to be based on your merit, your test score and/or GPA. We have in-state, out-of-state, all of those broken down on our website. Partner, just like it sounds, we partner with an outside entity to create a scholarship. So if you are national merit, something like that, Oklahoma's Promise, that is what those partner scholarships are going to be. University competitive is based on a number of things. So this is when the essay and the resume really come into play, as well as that test score, GPA, things like that. Also, if you know what you want to major in, go ahead and put that on your application so we can review you for those departmental scholarships. You can come in undecided, and that is a-okay. But if you do know what you want to major in, definitely put that on your application. So we do offer in-person tours right now, as well as virtual experiences, if that's what you're most comfortable with. We do run them Monday through Friday. I always recommend the morning tour if you can make it, because that allows for an academic appointment. We do one Saturday a month as well, and events throughout the year. So we do have Junior Day coming up. I believe it's this weekend. So if you're a junior and you want to pop in for that, the registration is still open. It will be virtual this year. That is all I have right now. This is just our general admissions contact information. Again, each of you has an admissions counselor. So definitely reach out to us. We would love to get to know you. So thank you guys. Have a good evening.
Thank you. And next up, we are going to hear from Augustana College.
Thank you very much. My name is Eric Rowell, and I am an admissions counselor at Augustana College. Let me get my screen share up here. All right, hopefully you guys can see that. Augustana College, we are located in Rock Island, Illinois.
Hey, Eric, it looks like we're looking at your email.
Okay, oops, wrong thing there, okay. Stop share, let me try this again here. All right, hold on. There we are. Okay, there we are. Okay, so again, my name is Eric Rowell, and admissions counselor at Augustana College. And we are located in Rock Island, Illinois, which is about 3 hours west of Chicago. We are about 4 hours north of St. Louis. And we're pretty much dead center of all the major cities in the Midwest, anywhere between 3 and 5 hours. So it's a great location, I think, for opportunities beyond college as far as internships, research, and job opportunities if you didn't want to go too far from where we're located. We have about 2,500 students here at Augustana College, so we are a small private liberal arts institution. We're also ranked in the top 100 of all small private liberal arts colleges as well. So we take great pride with providing you with a wonderful experience at Augustana, and we're known for that. 11-to-1 student to faculty ratio, so you get to know your faculty very well. The average class size at Augustana is about 18 students per class. We have over 150 different clubs and organizations at Augustana. It is a very difficult place to be bored, as there are so many things to do here. We actually have a Quidditch team if you're a Harry Potter fan, so it's just wonderful. And we also have over 90 majors at Augustana College. Here are some of our top majors: business administration, pre-med, biology, accounting, education, psychology. Those pretty much round out the top 5 or 6. So hopefully we've had something here that you could study. Many of our students are also double majors at Augustana. About 45% of all of our students have double majors. I've seen triple majors at Augustana as well. You need good time management skills and good study habits. We are located in the Quad Cities. So both sides of the Mississippi River, Iowa and Illinois. There's about 400,000 people in the area. There's plenty of stuff to do in and around town. And again, we are a dead center of other cities in the Midwest. So if you ever wanted to have that road trip during your time at Augustana, you can definitely do so. Diversity, equity, and inclusion is extremely important at Augustana. We do our best to provide an environment where not only do our students learn the subject matter, but they learn from one another. So at Augustana, when I was a student, I should have mentioned I am an alum. When I was a student back in the early 90s, we had about a 5 to 7% diversity rate at Augustana. Right now, it's about 37%, including international students. So we take great pride with, again, providing that great classroom and that great campus environment. where students get to meet people from a variety of different backgrounds and interests. We take great pride also with providing an excellent experience inside and outside of the classroom at Augustana. We have built a lot of new things on our campus in the last 15 years. We've renovated residence halls. We've added new academic buildings. Currently, right now, we're adding kinesiology as a major, and we have actually added a new pool, an aquatic center. So a lot of things are happening on our campus. About a third of our students are varsity athletes. We are Division III athletics. We have about 27 different athletic teams here at Augustana. We have a quarter of our students participating in the arts, so music, art, theater, dance. Again, we have over 150 clubs and organizations at Augustana, and we are top 10 in academic All-Americans. These are the students that do well in the classroom and on the court or field. The schools that are ahead of us are schools like MIT, Nebraska, Stanford, Penn State, and Notre Dame. So again, small Augustana does very well against nationally ranked institutions. We take great pride in providing our students with opportunities to have experiences beyond the classroom in the sense of internships and career opportunities as well. We really want to focus on helping you understand what it is that you might be great at as far as a career. Many of our programs that when it comes down to opportunities for study abroad come out of our core department, as we call it. So there's a lot of things that you can do outside of the classroom at Augustana. About 89% of our students will have at least an internship and do research or an international program. Over half of our students will have a study abroad experience at Augustana, and we have a 98% job placement rate. So 6 months after Augustana, you're either in graduate school or you are working. We have a program called Augie Choice. There's a $2,000 stipend that every student receives, and you can use that money for internships, research, or study abroad. And most of our students do all three. So you can have grand experiences while you're here at Augustana College. Our top scholarships range from $24,000 to $28,000. They're all merit-based. We also have need-based scholarships at Augustana so that we can do our best to help you be able to afford an institution like ours. So we tend to be very supportive of our students. We also accept the common application or our own application, whichever one you choose to complete is fine with us. We're also test optional at Augustana, meaning that if you don't like your ACT or SAT score, that is fine. You don't have to submit it. We believe that a student that does well in the classroom is a better indicator of how well they'll do at the college level. That's pretty much all the info that I have at this point in time, and I thank you for listening to me.
Thank you. Next up, we are going to hear from Sterling College.
Hey y'all, how's it going today? Just pulling up the old PowerPoint. There we go. So yeah, my name's Jimmy Clark, they, them. I'm the admission counselor at Sterling College. And I see the because I say the because we're a college of about 100, 120 students. So we don't need many more than me. We're a pretty unique place that I've really fallen in love with over the past year or so. I just hope to give you some basic information about that. Feel free to throw any questions you want in the chat and I'll answer them as we go along. Sterling is really focused on actually building community. When you're a college of 120 students, it's important that you feel that you belong because you do belong, because you're one of a small, tight-knit community. So we do take a lot of different actions to make this happen. When you arrive, you'll take a class called ASOP, which is a sense of place, where you'll learn about the area around Sterling, you'll learn about the resources available to you in our very rural Vermont area. And then you'll end that 2-week-long class with a 4 to 5 day long backpacking trip through Vermont with your entry class. During COVID, we've done some things obviously to address the fact that there's a global pandemic. Something called a living and learning pod, which basically means that the group of students you're living in dorms with, our dorms are about 10 to 15 students, only single and double occupancies, are the same students you'll be taking classes with. So you'll be taking a variety of different classes, but anytime you're taking a class, the people you're taking your class with will be the same people you're living with, and you won't be expected to socially distance around them. That way we can, limit the spread of COVID, but also you can have a, normal college life. You can hang out, go to parties, watch movies, things like that. But people outside your pod, you're expected to socially distance around so that none of us die from a preventable disease. Um, Additionally, at Sterling, we believe that not only is your health important, but your food is also important. About half the food that we eat on campus at Sterling actually comes from the campus because one of our majors is sustainable agriculture. So we have a working farm on campus. And then like 95% of the food comes from within 100 miles. You know, the things we can't get from on campus, like oranges, obviously. You know, those don't grow within 100 miles of Sterling, Vermont. Sterling also believes in a learning style called experiential learning. What that means is that you learn by doing. So we are at college, you get a degree. So there are, you know, tests, essays, group projects, but there's a lot of learning by doing. So you'll be out on the farm if you're interested in farming. You'll work in the forest or woods if you're interested in ecology or outdoor education. You might even, for instance, there was a nature writing class last year where they actually went out onto a frozen lake like 5 times and wrote about like the ice and the cold and what they were feeling and seeing. So Sterling's really a place where if you love nature, if you care about the environment, if the apparently inevitable death of our planet doesn't just make you anxious, but make you angry, Sterling's a pretty good place for you. One of our majors, like I said, is sustainable agriculture and food systems. This has a bunch of different focuses, but some people will actually go into learning how to farm, and some people will learn the more theoretical aspects of sustainable farming, and then go on to work for NGOs or governments. Environmental humanities is really our arts program, so we have a lot of focuses, including environmental philosophy, global literary traditions, fiber arts, woodworking, things like that. Ecology it's really field ecology is a focus of ours as well. So in this, you'll learn how to, about half your coursework will happen in the field, and you'll learn how to become a field ecologist. So you'll learn how to take soil samples, water samples, measure biodiversity in areas. A lot of our students in this major go on to work for national parks or state or local governments, or go on to get their master's degrees. And then outdoor education is our final major. This basically teaches you how to become an outdoor educator. So, you know, be the person who's leading field expeditions, be the person who's running and managing camps, if that's what interests you. So half of it is learning skills, like for instance, ice climbing. So that class, they go out to local frozen waterfalls and they climb the falls. There's other ones where they'll go, you know, water canoe, kayak, things like that. But then there's an equal amount that's about learning how to become an educator. So learning how to teach people safely outdoors these skills is really the goal of that one. In addition, our college has a pretty unique program called Global Field Studies, which are 2-week-long field trips basically around the Americas. They're included in the cost of tuition room and board, so there's no additional cost. And you go as far as the mountains of Peru to learn about the food systems, so how they get food up to these really rural mountain towns, to Labrador, Canada, where they learn about these little islands off the coast of North Canada, and they travel around and study the folk art and folk music of the region. In addition, we are a work college, which means that students are expected to work on campus 80 hours a semester. You're paid $21.56, and that all goes into cutting cost of tuition, room, and board. So everyone on campus works at the same place you're working, which is another way that we try to build community and also lower the cost of college, because college is, as we all know, way too expensive, literally everywhere. But we're doing our best to make it cheaper. Deciding where to go to college should be the hard part, not the application. Our application is crazy easy. We have Common App, or we have the one on our website. We need your transcripts, we need a personal essay, we need some letters of recommendation, and then we end up with a personal interview between you and me. That's usually about an hour, where we just talk about your history, your interests, why you think you should come. So it's really a personal project. Our faculty student ratio is like 7-to-1 because of our small size. So yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out at jclark@sterlingcollege.edu. Otherwise, thanks. Hope to talk to you soon.
Thank you. Next up, we are going to hear from Newman University.
Hi, everyone. I hope you're having a great evening. Thank you so much for allowing me to be here today. I'm going to go ahead and get my presentation pulled up. My name is Emily Larkin. I'm an admissions counselor at Newman University. I'm also an alumna. I just graduated back in May, which now that I say it is only a month from now for it to be a year. So it's a little frightening, but it's all right. So I like to think that I have kind of both perspectives of like staff and students since I'm so new. With that, I got 2 degrees, one in communication journalism and one in theater. During my time at Newman, last year I was student body president. I was involved in our newspaper, The Vantage, and I was a part of the honors program, just to name a few. To tell you a little bit more about Newman University, so we're a small liberal arts college. We have about 1,200 undergraduate students, so it's definitely smaller. I really appreciated that because I came from a small town, and so being in that small environment was really nice for me. We have an 11-to-1 student to faculty ratio. So that is about the amount of personal attention that you're going to receive from your professors. So I know it's kind of cliche, but you're not just going to be a number at Newman. Your professors are going to know your name, where you're from, what your goals are. If you have any cats or dogs at home, they're going to want to know their names too and see pictures. So it's definitely that great community feel. We also have an average class size of 18, so you're going to get to know your peers as well. So when you're going out into the world, you're going to have those automatic networking opportunities that you can build off of with the peers that you have in your own classes. We are located in Wichita, Kansas, which is Kansas's largest city by population. So what I really appreciate is that Newman's kind of that smaller atmosphere where you won't be alone, you can find your friends, and then you can actually go out in the community and do things. Like I said, I'm from a small town, so I'm not really used to that, but I really love that community aspect in Wichita and in Newman. We are a Catholic college, but you are by no means required to be Catholic. Only 41% of our students are Catholic, so we definitely appreciate all different cultures and backgrounds and beliefs, and so you'll not be required to go to any chapel hours or anything like that. We're really focusing on educating you as like a whole person. Few things we're known for. So our students have 20% less college loan debt than the national average. I don't know about you, but like price was a really big thing for me when I was looking at colleges. I didn't really have like a college fund or anything like that. And so that was one of the reasons that drew me to Newman was the affordability. We also have a high employment rate. So 71% of our students are employed in their field of study upon graduation versus the national average of 27. That's huge. I'm not just recruiting you to be a Newman student. I'm recruiting you to be a Newman graduate who can, go out and get a job in a field that you're passionate about. So you wake up every morning and you feel like you're transforming society like our mission says. A lot of our students will get jobs by March or April of their senior year. I got this job literally a week before COVID like shut America down. So I was lucky, but I wasn't an exception. A ton of our students will get those jobs, and it's really nice knowing what you're going to do after you graduate since you've done school for all of this time of your life. We have 40 plus undergraduate programs. So some of our most popular ones are biology pre-med, nursing and allied health, education, because that's what we were founded on, and our business classes as well. We also have 11 pre-professional programs. So some of the biggest ones are pre-physical therapy, pre-law, and pre-medicine. We also were the first school in Kansas to become test optional. So it's really great. We don't need your ACT or SAT. I know it's been really hard to kind of take those recently. So don't worry about that. We also have a rolling admission. So you could apply today. You could apply the first day of school. Don't recommend the second one because it gives me a bit of a heart attack, but you have those options open to you. We also are affordable. So we have a free application. I know when I was applying to colleges, I applied to like 19 different colleges and they weren't all free. And so sometimes those can add up. So Newman's free, which is really great. We also have 99% of our students receive some sort of financial assistance, which rolls into our first-time student scholarships. Every student who applies and gets accepted receives a scholarship from $12,000 to $16,000 based on your GPA. If you have an ACT score that's higher than that, we'll take the highest one because we want to make sure we can give you as much money as possible. We also have special scholarships like our St. Newman Scholarship, which is for full tuition that's given to 5 students each year. This is applicable now to juniors because the deadline passed in December 1st, but if you're a junior, you can look at these options. We also have our ASC Community Leader Scholarship. So this is great if you're service oriented or you're already doing service for school. We also have scholarships by interest. So we have art and theater scholarships, music, and our honors program. We also have athletic scholarships. We're the only private NCAA Division II college in Kansas. And so we play big schools like Emporia State, Washburn, Fort Hays, really fun things there. We have 18 different athletic teams and the only private triathlon team in Kansas. So it's kind of fun. One thing I would recommend, no matter where you go, what you do, is to get involved. We have 35 plus different clubs and organizations. We have 375 plus different events. And so I would recommend going to an event. If you don't find a club that you want, you can always create one. that's my finish it up Emily timer. We do have a new program called Navigator that's said to help you supercharge your time at Newman, and also programs to help support first-generation college students. Last but not least, if you think Newman can be the right fit for you, you can apply at newmanu.edu and go ahead and take that first step as a chat. Thank you.
Thanks, Emily. Next up, we are going to hear from Westminster College.
Hi guys, my name is Lane Hume and I am the Regional Admissions Counselor for Westminster College. So that means that I don't live on campus. I actually live down in Little Rock, Arkansas, and I work with students in Arkansas, Oklahoma, and Texas. So Westminster is a small private liberal arts school. We're right in the heart of Missouri in a town called Fulton. What you're looking at here is the heart of campus. One thing that really makes us different is the fact that it's where Winston Churchill gave the Iron Curtain speech back in 1946, which was, one of the biggest pieces of history that happened last century. The church here is actually a Christopher Wren church. It's the church that, Shakespeare and his troupe attended. And we also have the largest piece of the Berlin Wall in all of North America. So we have a ton of history on campus, which is a really unique perspective. Just some fast facts about what campus is like. We do have a 98% success rate at Westminster, which means 98% of our students are either employed or in graduate school within 6 months after graduation. We also have a similar student-teacher ratio of 11:1. And then one thing we do that's really cool is the Hancock Symposium. At Westminster, because we're a small school that just focuses on the undergraduate experience, we want to make sure that students get educational experiences that aren't in just the traditional classroom. So we cancel classes for 2 full days in September. We bring in about 25 to 30 speakers from all over the world and have our students attend lecture series and hands-on activities with these speakers. Just to kind of give you an idea, our keynote speaker last year was the chief scientist of NASA. The year before that, it was Madeleine Albright, the first female Secretary of State in the United States. So these are big name speakers that our students get face-to-face time in a way that you just can't have at a larger institution. We do an undergraduate scholars forum where we encourage student research and celebrate it. And then we also got ranked as the Smithsonian's top 15 best small towns in 2019. So don't let the small town scare you away. I grew up in a bigger city, went to a really big high school, and still had a blast at Westminster. Just some of our big programs of study. This is by no means an exhaustive list. Are our top majors and minors listed here. Out of those top majors and minors, pre-med track sciences is really what we're known the best for, mostly because we offer a cadaver lab on campus. We get at least 2 bodies, but sometimes 3 bodies donated to campus every year. The lab only has 5 to 6 students in there at a time, and they do a full human anatomy dissection from start to finish. Under the direction of a professor. Most students don't get that type of hands-on experience until they go to medical school. So it's something really unique to us that we're very proud of. And it gives you a great idea as to whether or not med school is a good fit for you, because there's actually a fairly high dropout rate of med school where students go and they're pumped about it. And then they get there and realize this wasn't really the best fit for me. So those are the types of things you should be looking for in an undergraduate experience to help prepare you for those grad school experiences. We also offer a pre-law minor, which is exceptionally rare. Instead of having just a pre-law track, we actually offer law classes in an undergraduate setting, which again helps you prepare for law school and know if that's a good fit for you. One thing that's also really unique to us is our self-design major. So that means that if you don't see the exact major or minor that you want, you can actually create your own major or minor with your academic advisor's supervision. About 15% of our students actually go this route. And it's a really cool way to have a unique degree that's specific to what you want to do in the future. We also offer an honors program, and then we're also nationally known for our Learning Differences program. We actually started that back in the 1960s. We were only the 2nd school in the entire country to do that, which means we specialize in helping students who have learning differences like dyslexia, ADD, autism spectrum, things like that, to help them really still get the collegiate experience that they're looking for. Student life, our housing at Westminster is awesome. We don't have any traditional really large style dorms. Our freshmen live in a quad, and then as upperclassmen, you live in townhomes, apartments, and houses. Study abroad is definitely celebrated at Westminster. We offer lots of scholarships to make it really affordable, and really unique things for you to do as well. Clubs and organizations are also very much a part of our student life. One really cool one I like to talk about is Blue Blazers. That's part of our business program. We have a stock portfolio that's now valued over $1 million, and it's entirely run by our students. We are an NCAA Division III school, so about half of our students play sports. So we're heavily athletic. We do have a football team, and then we do offer Greek life as well. And about half of our students also participate in Greek life. So many of our students are very involved. So we'll get to visiting and applying. Visiting Westminster is really pretty easy to do right now. You can still visit in person, but we do offer virtual visits as well. We are still taking applications for this year. So if you happen to be a senior and you're still looking for that perfect school for next fall, you can still apply. It's completely free. We do accept the Common App, and we do rolling admissions. So generally you hear back within a week or two of your application. We are test optional, and we are permanently test optional. So we will never again require ACT or SAT scores, and we still consider you for scholarships without those test scores. So don't worry that you're going to have a reduced scholarship opportunity without having those test scores. We do an optional essay and letters of recommendation, but I do strongly encourage them just for, again, scholarship opportunities. And we automatically consider you for scholarships. You don't have to fill out a separate application. So again, I encourage you to apply if you're still a senior this year. If you're going to be a junior next year, the application will open in August. Thank you for your time, and I hope you have a wonderful evening.
Thanks, Lane. Next and last but not least, we are going to hear from the University of Melbourne.
Hi, everyone. Great to see you all here. My name is Julia, and I'm with the University of Melbourne, based in beautiful Melbourne, Australia. So I'm just going to go over some of the features, of our degrees. The degrees in Australia are only 3 years, and a lot of really excellent universities were part of the group of 8 institutions. So that's sort of the equivalent of an Ivy League down under at a considerably cheaper price. In many cases, it's going to be the same cost as many in-state options, and in most cases, cheaper than out of state. And of course, you get to have an amazing adventure in a beautiful city. So we're actually ranked #1 in Australia, and we're ranked 25 in the world. We're a large public research intensive university that has pretty much everything you could find at a big university here in the States. So everything from the humanities to performing arts, STEM, business, and more. And a lot of these are ranked in the top 20 globally. So one thing that's a little bit different with Australian schools is that you apply directly to the program rather than the school overall. So you do have to have a general idea of what you want to do, but you don't have to know your major or anything like that in the beginning. So these are just a list of some of our majors. Very straightforward and transparent admissions policy. So we're really only going to look at your transcript and test scores and AP prereqs. We don't consider essays, personal statements, references, and we won't look at extracurriculars. And if you meet the minimum requirements, you'll most likely get an offer from us. Each degree has slightly different entry requirements. But you can kind of get an idea. So let's say you wanted to, be a psychology major and a Bachelor of Arts. You would need a 3.2 GPA, and then you'd need an SAT of 13, 20, or 28, and then you'd need 2 AP exams. And then there are guaranteed options for the IB diploma as well. For 2021, we do have options if you haven't taken the ACT or weren't able to take the SAT. And I'm happy to talk more about that at another time. The semesters are different down under. So Sem 1 is March to June, and Sem 2 is July to November. You're still able to apply for semester 2 in July, or you're welcome to apply for semester 1 in the fall. We're still accepting apps. It can actually be very affordable to do a degree overseas. There's lots of universities that accept US student loans. We are one of them. Again, these are 3-year degrees, so that's going to cut down your costs considerably, and you're going to be out in the workforce sooner paying back your student loans. We're really proud to rank 7 in the world for graduate employability. We definitely appreciate that. Your education is going to be one of the biggest investments that you ever make. So we have over 1,600 industry partners. There's really incredible research going on at our university. We're Australia's leading research university, and lots of options for students, to do work, research. We also have a huge alumni network for when you want to come back to your home country as well. Here is campus again, and we're only about 10-15 minutes away from downtown. The downtown's quite safe and clean, and we have our own postcode, so it is a big spread out campus that's been around since 1853. So we are Australia's second oldest university, and we have lots of beautiful, sandstone buildings. So it's a very great environment. We do have a lot of new modern facilities as well to complement the beautiful old buildings that are really purpose-built for students. So one of the best parts of studying at Uni Melb is you get to actually live in Melbourne. It was rated the most livable city in the world for 7 years in a row, and we're currently at number 2. So there's so many things to do, and it's a really diverse, welcoming country. City is about 5 million people, and our student population is about 50,000. So it is, definitely a big university. We have about 40% of our student population as international students, and everyone really is in the same boat where they're, wanting to make friends and explore the city. I am an American, and I did a degree in Australia, and it was really one of the best experiences of my life. It's a really, incredible place to live and study. It's also the it's ranked 3rd in the world as the most student-friendly city. We are quite close to the Great Ocean Road, which is beautiful access to nature and hikes and beautiful beaches as well. So please feel free to book a one-on-one Zoom call with me if you have any other questions. I also really encourage you to sign up for our mailing list so you can see that if you minimize that. But I'll also pop these links in the chat. But thanks very much, everyone, and have a great evening.
Thank you, Julia. And now I'm going to invite all 6 of our panelists to join me to answer one last question for you guys before we close out tonight. So the question is, what is your favorite event or tradition on campus? So if you guys want to answer in the order in which you presented, that would be wonderful.
Hi, everybody. Haley back here with Oklahoma State University in Stillwater, Oklahoma. So we are known for America's Greatest Homecoming, which is my favorite tradition. I was able to participate in all 4 years. Unfortunately, it didn't happen last year, but it is scheduled to happen this year. So events happen all week, and the big finale is walk around, which happens the Friday night before the football game on Saturday. Sororities and fraternities pair up. They create house decks, which are 30 to 40 feet long, 10 to 20 feet high. They use chicken wire and little square tissue papers to create these elaborate moving house decorations. So it's really awesome. About 30,000 people or more come to Stillwater for that event. And so there's a reason it's called America's Greatest Homecoming. So we have all the pictures on our website if you ever want to check it out.
Okay, so we also have a homecoming tradition at Augustana College. We call it the cardboard regatta. So we have a little, we call it a slough. It's a little river, a little creek that's in the middle of our campus. And students every homecoming will put together little boats made out of cardboard, PVC pipe, and duct tape. Most of them sink directly to the bottom. However, there are a few really industrious people, students here on campus, that are actually able to finish the race. And it's a fantastic experience that everyone sort of crowds around and truly enjoys.
Hey, y'all. I'd say my Favorite event at Sterling is definitely lambing season. Like I said, one of our majors is sustainable agriculture, and part of that is that we have a farm on campus. So it'll be twice a year. You'll see, if you go down to the farm or this white parts of campus, you'll see dozens of very tiny, little, very cute lambs running around, hopping around, having a very good time. And the students and staff on campus help to make sure that they, are giving birth safely and also just can keep being really adorable.
That is so incredibly sweet. I would say one of my favorite traditions and events together is our Jet Friday. So every Friday you can come to the Student Center, wear your Jet gear, and you can get a free donut and coffee. And so it's really nice because it really brings the community together. You can kind of see your professors outside of that lecture style or outside of their office hours as well. So it's really nice to just connect, kind of have a treat at the end of the week. We have it tomorrow, and you bet yourself I'm gonna be over there getting a donut fresh and early at 8:30. So definitely a good tradition that I love that we have.
Sorry guys, my Zoom was being removed for a second. At Westminster, probably one of my favorite traditions that we have is we have a set of columns that are left from the original Westminster Hall that burned down long time ago. And when we do freshman invocation and then graduation, when you're a freshman, you walk through the columns and you actually take an oath. So it's very kind of old school collegiate feel. So it feels really real when you finally do that. And we do that on move-in day. So there is no like lag time in that, and your family gets invited to stay and watch it. But the really funny part is the superstition. So we have a superstition that you can't go anywhere near the columns or touch the columns between freshman year and when you graduate, otherwise you won't graduate. So it's actually pretty funny to watch all of our students around campus go nowhere near the columns any other time except for when you're a freshman and then when you graduate. And another cool thing we do are TGIFs. So a couple of times a month, we do TGIFs on Friday evenings with our professors and students and everybody on campus, which is a cool way to get to know your professors and staff and stuff outside of the traditional classroom. So I like that too as a student. We do a Harry Potter themed one every year because our dining hall looks like Hogwarts. So that's a pretty fun one.
Hi, everyone. So I'm not sure my answer is quite as exciting as the rest of my colleagues here tonight, but one of my favorite traditions on campus is our farmers market on a Wednesday. Lots of really great food. Melbourne is really famous for cafe and restaurant culture, and lots of these great restaurants come to the farmers market.
Well, thank you all so much for sharing your favorite traditions, and thank you for sharing about your schools this evening. And audience, thank you so much for joining us. When you close this window, there will be a link to a very quick 4-question survey. We'd appreciate any feedback you can provide. Also, this was just one of many different sessions being hosted this evening, so please be sure to sign up for additional sessions. In about a week, you will be able to find this session's recording, as well as all of the other sessions recordings. Thank you, and I hope everyone has a wonderful evening.